background on Anthony and myself a long time ago. Some of his friends got together and said, hey, you need to meet this fella. And I met him. He kind of been stuck with me ever since then. Ever since then. So I'm going to turn it forward to him. So y'all give him your attention because he deserves it.
Yes.
I'm like crazy. I don't like the microphone. Can you hear me up in the back? You hear me all right? You got your food in front of you. I'm then make you lose your appetite here. So bear with me. And when I heard, I told him if I was going to talk, I kind of wanted to go first because I didn't want to follow somebody like a doctor. And then I had to follow a doctor. This is a picture of me 8 years ago, about 200 pounds ago. I want to explain this. I'm 58 years old. I decided to take control over my life at 50 years of age. Waited too long. That doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. You gain a pound a month. Over a year, that's 12 pounds. In 10 years, it's 120 pounds. In 20 years, it's 240 pounds. You don't notice it, it's gradual. You buy bigger clothes. You do things that excuse what's happening. Your body changes as you get older. I'm looking at a lot of people that are 20 years of age, 30 years of age, 40 years of age. As you get older, when I was younger and when I was heavy, not that heavy, but when I was heavy, I didn't feel the effects of the weight. I could still do stuff. I could still move some. But as you get older, things start happening. If you take a balloon and blow it up and release the air immediately, it's going to pretty much snap back into shape, depending on how big you blow it up and how long you let it stay inflated. I waited 50 years to deflate my balloon. My skin will never be the same again. I could have surgery. I could lose 20 pounds overnight with surgery, $10,000 later. But I see a lot of people here that at your age and at your skin elasticity, it will snap back pretty good. So that's a part of my message to you. When he said, I want you to talk, first thing in my head was, I don't know what I could say. And then I followed a doctor who really knows what they're talking about. And then I'm thinking, okay, there's a couple of points that I hit, that she hit. And we have a saying where I'm from, that if you accidentally get something right, it's called even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. And that's what I did. The other reason, when he said, I want you to talk, I just said yes. I didn't even hesitate. I didn't pause. Because if you know Tracy, he doesn't take no for an answer. So it's like you may as well say yes. When he tells me he wants me to do something, I just say how many and how much. And I worked with him this morning, so I'm having no problem lifting my arms. So I've got a little pie chart of a problem-solving plan that kind of fits with Dr. Barr said. And I use this in teaching problem-solving where I work. And I had made a decision at 50. I had tried every diet. I've been on Nutrisystem, lost 75 pounds. I gained 125 pounds back. Nutrisystem, nice, neat packaging. They get you the food, $75. They weigh you. It works if you choose to be on it the rest of your life. That food. Okay? So it's one of those things, I need somebody to teach me how to fish, not give me fish. And that's exactly what some of these, Lipazine, the guy on the radio who said he's a truck driver, who started taking these pills, he lost 75 pounds, his joints feel better. That stuff doesn't work. I'm telling you that stuff doesn't work. Because I guarantee you I've tried 90% of it. That person right there knows. If you want to know how to diet, ask somebody who's fat. Matter of fact, it probably took me 10 years to be able to say the word fat. I couldn't say that word. It was too intimidating. When you weigh that much, moving around is hard. You're slow. You can't stand for more than 5 minutes at a time. Your joints are killing you. The most embarrassing thing that happened to me was when I would sit in a chair at my house, I could not get up without somebody helping me get out of the chair. In other words, I turned my family, my kids into my slaves. Go do this for me, go do that. There's a reality show called My 600-Pound Life. And if you've ever watched that, that's the evolution, and that's where I was headed. And I know that's where I was headed. Imagine taking 4 50-pound bags of dog food and strapping it on your body. That's what I was carrying around every single day. 200 pounds. Tracy brought a 5-pound block of fat to the gym one time. You may have all seen it. And I lost 40 of those. And I'm thinking, that's just amazing. Just picking up one's kind of heavy. Everything anybody in my family wanted to do, I was always processing. How much walking would be involved? How far would I have to park? How many, and a lot of times in the later years, at that stage, it was just easier to say, y'all go ahead, I got something to do. I checked out on my family's life because, number one, I didn't want to go through the hurdle of what I'd have to go through. Number two, I didn't want to be a burden on them. So I kind of checked out. Buying clothes. You go to the rack, do the 40, 42, 46, 48, 50. Size 62 is where I was with my pants. You don't find those at Walmart. Actually, you're starting to find those, which is sad, because you never used to find size 50 at Walmart. Now, I'm 50, I don't need 50s, I need 42s. So, you don't buy clothes because those are the clothes you want. You buy clothes because that fits. And that's the only thing that fits. And you're wearing a purple corduroy shirt because it fits. And nobody else wanted it. You buy a size bigger because you want it to be comfortable and you want to be able to adjust your clothes so your fat doesn't show. Because people won't notice that you're fat if you pull your clothes out a little bit. You buy slip-on shoes because you can't reach your laces to tie your shoes. You have shoe horns that are this long because you tie your shoes loose so you can slip them on with a shoe horn if you have to wear lace-up shoes. Fitting places. I drive a company car. They told me one of our next cars was going to be a Honda Accord. I went to the Honda dealer to see if I could fit in the car. I had a wear mark on all my pants right here because my seat was back as far as it could go. The steering wheel as high as it could, and the steering wheel would wear a hole in my pants. That is reality of what you face when you get that large. Airplanes, you end up buying a seat extension because you're embarrassed to ask for one. And then you're afraid they're going to ask you to buy 2 seats. And then you start looking at your seat well before you get there because you know the look you're going to get when they know you're going to sit next to them and they're not going to have any room to move at all. Booth seats. I didn't sit in a booth for 10 years because I couldn't fit in a booth. And if I had a movable table, I was going to shove it into my wife because I needed all the room I could get. Turnstiles, nope, couldn't go through turnstiles. They always had the gate that opened up. Everything's a challenge. Toilet seats. I used to have to buy toilet seats or replace them in my house because I break them so frequently. There are times I replaced them without even telling my wife about it. I'd break it, I'd run to Walmart, get a toilet seat, replace it, bury the toilet seat in the garbage can so she wouldn't find it because, again, I was embarrassed. Image issues. You avoid mirrors. You avoid reflections because you don't like what you see. It's embarrassing what you see. I ended up being the photographer for my company and my family because if you're a photographer, number one, you can delete pictures. Number two, you're not in the pictures. So you have some control over that. And I even bought with the company the most complicated camera I could find so nobody else knew how to operate I got a beautiful wife, and I was always jealous because I felt like I wasn't worthy of her. And she loved me, my kids loved me, but I didn't love myself. Health, had high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. My medication, my insurance was $185 a month. I'm not diabetic any longer. However, when I get life insurance, I have to always list that I was diabetic, so it's going to end up costing me more. I don't have high blood pressure or high cholesterol anymore. I'm still a little bit of blood pressure medicine. I have a goal to get off of that, but I think that has to do with me, the way I am. Discrimination. Discrimination against fat people is the last legal form of discrimination that exists. People look at you a certain way. Kids, don't think about it, but they look, they point, they talk very innocently. You hear the jokes. You see two people talking and pointing and laughing. You know what they're doing. And every time that happens, it chips away. 5 minutes after they said the joke, they forget about it. You never do. It's always something that you remember, and it chips away at your self-esteem. You check out, and you just give up. You have to make a decision, and that's the first step right here. And it's an important step because if you're not serious about that decision, you're not going to stay on a plan, you're not going to be committed. So you have to decide, I'm definitely going to do this, and I'm going to be serious about this. Now, the next step is a plan. You've done the groundwork, I've decided this has got to happen, and you have to have a plan that's going to make it work. If you're going to put this effort into something, you may as well do something that you know is going to work. You take Tracy here, who's extremely smart. He looked at me one day, he goes, "You burn 6 calories per pound." And I started doing the math. It's like, why does he know that? I mean, he knows nutrition. He knows what you need. And it's one of those things that if you are smart, and I thought I was smart enough to know, and when I was 12, I'd look at baseball cards, and I'd say, I'm the same weight as this baseball player. I'm just a whole lot shorter. And then I graduated to football cards because the football players weighed more. And I would joke with myself, not joke with myself, kid myself, that I'm fine. I'll just stop going out and I'll just grow up and I'll be fine. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. I put everything I could into research. I studied, looked at diets, and my problem was my ability to consume food was unusual. I could eat 8 pieces of chicken for a snack and be ready for dinner. 12 Crystals, nothing, no problem. And I'd hide the bags, my wife would never find them. And it would be one of those things, and you don't go inside to a buffet because you know people are talking, so drive-thrus are your friend. So if you find yourself doing those kind of things, it's like, that's a flag. I reached a decision, one I didn't take lightly, that I don't highly recommend. I did surgery in August of 2008. I did RMI gastric bypass surgery. Now, in my research, I went to a lot of meetings, and I saw a lot of smaller fat people that looked very unhealthy who had the surgery. And it didn't make sense. That scared me to death. So I did a lot of research on why am I seeing these people with bad color? Why am I seeing these people that aren't healthy? Why am I seeing smaller fat people that are misshapen? I didn't understand this. And I went ahead, my insurance didn't cover it. One of the sessions, I'll never forget one of the sessions I went to, there was somebody who worked for the hospital, and my insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay cash for it. I had to take it out of my retirement. My logic was if I didn't take it out of my retirement, I wouldn't need my retirement. Wouldn't need it. So I'm sitting there with a room of about 8 people at a hospital in Birmingham, Alabama, and there's a nurse that said, "Can I have Coke?" And the nutrition said, "No, you can't ever drink Coke again. She's like, oh, what about Sprite? And I'm like, did she really just ask that question? She's a nurse. It scared me to death. But it's like, you know what? After the surgery, I can eat anything I want to. Because if you look at people who've had the surgery, a lot of them gain all their weight back. A lot of them do. The way I look at the surgery, I can't eat 8 pieces of chicken anymore. I don't even want to eat 8 pieces of chicken. When my wife and I go out, we will share a meal. My appetite, I look at it as it giving me a level playing field. It's extremely risky, it's very dangerous, and it's one of those things that's like, you know what? I'm either going to die here, or I'm possibly going to die here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over a life, and that's what I did. I also consider lap band. And somebody said, you know, if you do RNY, that's permanent. And I said, well, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Because I'm in this for the rest of my life. I picked the best surgical center I could afford. And then I started, in my plan, I want to make some goals. Dr. Barr talked about making long-term and short-term goals. And so I sat there and said, you know, one of the things I really always wanted to do, and when you're the term, you've heard of overweight, you've heard of obese. This is called super morbidly obese. There's actually a medical term for that. So it's not just a standard overweight. And one thing I recommend you do, and you guys will be congratulated because you're on a challenge, is take pictures. You take your weight on, pass these around, because it's like that's the kind of thing that helped keep me motivated that I want to go to the next step. There's a blank spot. Hamilton, what does a blank spot say?
199.
See, I always want to keep my goals going. I've hit a lot of goals. But I'm going to throw some of the goals out there that might sound a little bit, that's ridiculous. One of my goals was I want to be able to climb a ladder. If you think that's weird, get 4 50-pound bags of dog food, strap them on you, and climb a ladder. It's not really easy. I wanted to be able to kneel in my church. For years, I just sat on the front of the pew when everybody else kneeled. One of my goals was, I'm a handgun advocate, and I wanted to take my concealed carry class. And I went to Aubrey Zachary, and he gave me my first class. And my biggest problem was I'd already lost a lot of weight, because that was one of my goals. The picture on my driver's license, Mickey Straightborn's a friend of mine, and he looked at the picture, he goes, Anthony, that doesn't look like you. You need to go to driver's license, because Aubrey said they're going to use your same driver's license picture for your concealed carry picture. And they wouldn't change that. I showed them, they said, you have to be within a year before you do it. It's like, okay. But the picture was like, I even have my other license that has my picture on it. I wanted to be able to get in a canoe or a john boat with my son, because I didn't do things with my son. I wanted to buy a pair of pants at Walmart, take them home and put them on and have them fit. You know, my pants, I always found pants that were fitting me, but they were always this much too long, because my weight, I probably should have been 12'2" or something. I wanted to be able to pick something up off the floor. You know, when a lady would drop something, a gentleman picked it up off the floor, I would find a way to just walk in the other direction like I didn't see it happen, because I was embarrassed I couldn't pick it up myself. Or if I dropped something. I took pictures every 30 days or so, created an Excel spreadsheet. Whatever I could do, I knew myself, to keep myself motivated, I did it. One thing in the back of my mind was I was going to avoid exercise. I was the kid who was never picked on teams in school, always been overweight. And it's like, I don't want to go, what did she call it, Dr. Barr?
Jim Timidate.
Jim Timidate, very Jim Timidate. And it's like, I can't do that. I'm not athletic. The gym wasn't the place for me. And as a gift, some of my friends went together. And this is 8 years old. My wife will tell you, I don't keep cards. I kept this one. They gave me Tracy's sessions for a month. and they put his phone number on there. They didn't tell me they gave him my phone number. Because it's not like the tie you can put in the back of your closet or the thing you can take back. He's relentless, and he kept, when can we meet? Well, that's not good. Okay, when can we meet? Well, that's not good. So it's like he was going to pester me till I went and saw him. So it's like, okay, one day I'll meet for lunch. I can do this. So I went there. It's like, let's get this over with. I really struggled with the thought of this. I didn't want to do it. And then I started thinking about the unhealthy, smaller, fat people I saw. When you lose 10 to 12 pounds a week, it gets to be addictive when you're that big. It feels good. And you start going, oh my gosh, I lost 14 pounds this week. Oh my gosh, 10 pounds. That's crazy. And when you see it happening on the school, that's a reward for not eating. First few weeks, you're on a liquid diet. So you're going to lose weight. There were probably days that I ate 10,000 calories. Literally. So it was one of those things that, okay, I'm not going to fall into that trap. I'm going to make sure I'm taking my multivitamin, my glucosamine, my fish oil with omega-3, my B12. I'm going to take these nutrients. I'm going to make sure I'm getting my protein in. If I have to swallow oysters raw, which I really like anyway, I'm going to do that because they got a lot of protein. So I wasn't going to fall into that trap. Tracy told me on the weekly sessions he wanted me to come more often, so I'd come back and I'd do stuff. I couldn't do 2 minutes on a bicycle without losing my breath. Literally 2 minutes. So now I'm listening to music and I just get bored after a while and I stop and do something else. I lost 200 pounds with except blood pressure medication. We would go on cruises. Our company would take us about every 18 months, and after I lost my first 200 pounds, I walked up and I'm talking to Steve Nesbitt, who's the Chief Financial Officer out of Tampa, and he's looking at me like, why are you talking to me? He had no idea who I was. A few people I saw started crying when they saw me because it was, oh my gosh, my daughter was at school in Arkansas, and she started crying. I reached a size that was not perfect, but more normal, because I'd never been normal. And it was one of those things that, was really hard. The last stage here is commitment. That's where you guys are. You guys have done an incredible job with the challenge. And in the gym, January is pretty busy, because people are New Year's resolutions and they're going to the gym, and right before summer, when you want to get into the swimsuit, it starts picking up again. But they pick the time of year usually that people don't start kicking it in. So it's one of those things that this process doesn't work unless you do all three. You made a decision, you've come up with a plan that works, and you stay committed. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect, but you win the battle most days. That's where you want to go with that. To stay motivated, you know yourself. There's a couple of people I just want you to think about and research. One of them is, it's called Life Without Limbs, Dick Wojcik. He's a young man that was born without arms and legs. He's a Christian motivational speaker, and he has the best attitude in the world. I don't know about you, but if I was born without arms and legs, and actually he tried to commit suicide at one time by swimming out in the ocean. But he has the most positive outlook on life than anybody I've ever seen. But Life Without Limbs, Dick Wojcik. The other one is Arkansas's Brandon Burlsworth. I've worked for Wendy's for 39 years, and I'm so glad she didn't throw Wendy's in the list of KFC and all that stuff, because there is good food you can eat at Wendy's. But I went to Jonesboro, and Jason Goad, the general manager of the store, had a silent auction group of pictures over there, and you can purchase them. One of them's a Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley, 145. Every bid wins. That means for $145, you get this framed picture. Never heard of Brandon Burlsworth. That night I get home, my sister calls me and says, there's a new movie out called Braden. You gotta go see it. So I took my son on a tour to University of Arkansas, because he's going there next year. And afterwards, we went and saw the movie. The movie is about somebody was so committed. Here's a guy who didn't have any talent whatsoever, and his family didn't have money, but he wanted to play football for the University of Arkansas as a walk-on. He walked on, and he got beat to death. Coach said he wasn't big enough, so he gained up to 300 pounds, and the coach said you're too big, so he lost weight. Everything the coach told him to do, he did. He ended up going to be All-American, getting a full scholarship, and earning a master's degree playing football. He was so good at that point that he was signed by Baltimore Colts. First round draft pick. Before he was able to sign, he was killed in an automobile accident. To this day, his brother set up the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation, and it's for kids in Arkansas who can't afford glasses, because that's one of the things about him. He had poor vision, and $10 you get glasses. And another one, I just want to close it on. I was on Facebook, and there's a guy on there named Ron Archer. He's a minister. And Ron Archer was, his mother tried to abort him. His mother was a prostitute. And her and her parents tried to abort him when he was still in the womb. They tried everything they could. He was still born. He came out alive. He had learning disabilities. He had medical issues, but he was alive. At 10 years old, he thought seriously about attempting suicide. But he said something. He has a quote, and this is the second reason I chose to do this for Tracy and for everybody here. His quote is, God uses greatly those who are wounded deeply. So think about the pie chart. These folks up here, of anybody I've ever worked with, they care more than anything else. And if you're not at the gym, he may text you. If you're not putting stuff in My Fitness Pal, you're going to get a text. So it's because he cares. So I want to thank y'all for the chance and give them a round of applause.
Things it does, it strengthens the muscles in your heart. It prevents bone loss, as Anthony was saying. It lowers your blood pressure and cholesterol. Increases energy levels. It burns calories and reduces body fat. Reduces stress, which makes us all happy. The staff of East Arkansas Family Health Center is committed to serving that healthy community. We service 4 counties. We have 6 locations spread out through those counties. And basically all we're doing is basically just serving these residents in Poinsett, Brittany County, Mississippi County, Poinsett County. Just introducing health, promoting health, eating right, doing the right things you need, activity, incorporating some type of physical activity in your daily life. That's what we're doing. Our mission is to provide affordable, comprehensive, and quality health care to those in need. That goes unnoticed in most areas. Our support services to our communities we serve with an emphasis on traditional underserved populations, those who can't afford some of those. So we have those services there for those patients. East Arkansas uses a comprehensive medical home model to provide a full range of primary medical care and dental services. Our providers treat patients of all ages, of all sizes, of all genders. We don't discriminate on your size. We don't discriminate on your race. We're there for you. Our patients are there to develop a comprehensive treatment plan, and our doctors and providers are there to emphasize wellness and prevention. East Arkansas offers support services that focus on helping patients maintain compliance with their treatment plans. That's a big thing for our CEO. She can't stop talking about that now, Dr. Joe said. Since our inception in 1974, East Arkansas has been an integral part of the regional health delivery network in East Arkansas, eastern part of Arkansas. East Arkansas currently has 6 health centers and 1 HIV/AIDS center here locally in West Memphis. Again, we service Brittany County, Poinsett, Mississippi County, Phillips County, more so the eastern edge of Arkansas. In 2001, we took on the challenge and responded to the growing HIV/AIDS epidemic that was going Our staff is committed to providing the highest quality of care and excellent customer service to our patients. In 1997, we were accredited by JUCO, which is known as the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. Our highly capable doctors and nurse practitioners offer comprehensive medical plans and wide ranges of, and focuses on wide ranges of acute injuries, illnesses, and conditions. They will help you manage chronic health conditions as well. For convenience, we also provide the following services on our site: lab draws and x-rays, well child visits, immunizations, women's health care, OBGYN, and family planning, men's health care, and behavioral health and mental health, pharmacies in our West Memphis and Lepanto location, ophthalmology services, physicals for schools, sports physicals for those athletics, employment physicals, eye exams, vision screens, TV screens, and flu vaccines. Those are things that people don't tend to think that they need, but we have all those services if you need those services. I say to everyone here today, stay informed, know what your numbers are, know what your vital signs are. Those are important. Your high blood pressure, you need to know all those things. Your pulse, your heartbeat, respiration, your temperature, and all those things are important. I ask that if you have any health concerns today that need to be addressed, if you don't have a PCP, a primary care physician, we have those. I would like to invite you all to East Arkansas, to the site. That's something that you may need. All those services are available to you there. Whether you need to see a medical doctor, whether you need to see a dentist or cardiologist, or need to fill a prescription, or enroll in a qualified health plan, or have a family that does a health insurance. We have those services. Or basically, if you're just a diabetic, or your family member is a diabetic, or your spouse, loved one is diabetic, and you're looking for a healthier way of living, we have those services in our nutrition program. Our nutritional services are exceptional. Our patients are referred to the nutrition doctor to complete a hemoglobin A1C test that usually indicates elevated glucose levels. Have anyone in here gone through that whole entire process, known about the testing and finding out the results? And it can be frustrating. But we have a nutritionist, and she's done well. She's been over a year. She's put together a program that works best for you, suited to your needs. She does that, and she has classes that she teaches once a month. She has fun bingo activities that goes on once a month. She does food prep in our prep kitchen there. And she gives you the necessities that you need to take on to change in your grocery list, the things that you're buying that you don't need to buy. Those things that you tend to forget are very important. You can access these classes at our clinic by simply just dialing East Arkansas's main number, which is 870-735-3842. Again, that number is 870-735-3842. Again, like I said, some of those things people tend to forget. The benefits of exercising if you are diabetic, if you know someone who is diabetic, it basically helps lower your blood glucose levels, improves your body capacity to use insulin. It helps lower body weight, cholesterol levels, and blood pressure. It helps to reduce leg pain and cramps. It lowers your doses of medicine or insulin is needed to control blood glucose and blood pressure. All these things are important in sustaining a healthier life, I believe. Take the necessary steps. Don't wait until illness presents itself to you. Don't fear visiting the doctor's office because you're fearing that your A1C is going to be bad or your vital signs are bad. There are trained professionals there to help you resolve those things. Your body is your temple. We strive for peace of mind. That's one of our biggest things. Stress is an illness if you don't know that. A lot of people put pressure on themselves. I'm glad to see this young man here who didn't give up. He kept fighting, and he didn't let this get him down. We have a lot of people who commit suicide, and with our mental health substance abuse, and we're trying to reach out and address those issues. Bullying, those things, anxiety. Calling people fat, that still sticks. I had a brother who, for years, was overweight. And people talked about him and talked about him and talked about him. And he had days where I thought about sticking with wrist. But I told him it was light at the end of the tunnel and not to give up. So I think we all need to continue to encourage each other with what's going on in these challenges here. I also like to just say we need people like Tracy and Amanda to continue to encourage and uplift people in the community. Our goal is to provide the necessary care in the community, but we need your help. We need people like you talking, spread the word. We need people like you don't have to continue to train these people to kind of extend that. I don't believe in cheat yourself out of a healthy, comfortable life by ignoring those things that are harmful that lead to chronic illnesses. I believe that we will have a major challenge in front of us, all of us, is basically just to take care of the body we have. God gives us one body, so don't treat it like it's trash. So don't put trash into your body. I would just say that, and I would have my seat. Good time? Good time? Good time?
All right. The reason Terrence is here is for the next part of the challenge. You know, Dawn asked me, she says, what if I ain't got any more weight to lose? Part of this next challenge is you don't have to lose weight. It's taking your body to another step, whether it's mentally, physically, or giving to somebody else. Because if you want to know who you are, look at the people you hang out with. Everybody here knows somebody that might need to lose some weight. I'm motivated. So if you get somebody and they step up to the plate and they lose 30 pounds, that's actually your transformation. It's not theirs, it's yours because you motivated somebody. That's what we did in the first half. We motivated 86 people to get up and move. 86 people. Now the extent that you push this is up to you. We want everybody to post their pictures still like you've been doing. That's gonna be a requirement. If you do something, we wanna see it. But if you don't wanna motivate anybody else, go to eStart or go to your doctor, whoever your primary care physician is, and get your numbers checked and see what you can make them do in another 8 weeks. Take a before picture. If you motivate a friend, you motivate your mom, your dad, somebody, take their picture. Help them write their story because you wrote yours. That's the next part. And we got some folks that we don't want a whole book, but we do want you to take pictures and journal stuff that person did because it ain't about us. I'm gonna live mine. I'm gonna work out every day, no matter what. I'm gonna do me. But when I can help somebody else get to where they want to be, I just created a paragraph for my future. Simple as that. Those are your friends. When my mama died, there was 700 people at her funeral. I didn't know she knew 700 people. But that's when you can go and you can say, look, this is a testament of what goes on when you treat people the way you want to be treated. When you smile, when you speak, when you wave at somebody going down the street, a man will say all the time, oh, you just country because you wave at everybody. Well, that's what I'm saying, you wave at everybody. That's what you do. But you treat people, every time you see somebody, you look at that person, you think, if that was you, what would you say? And I think, going back to the honey again.
Okay. We're gonna start off part of the awards with a couple of folks who lost their partners in the beginning for whatever reason, timing just didn't work out. But these people continued to log by themselves. Whether they took pictures with other people or worked out with other people, every single time they were still posting. So for the first one, I want Miss Tammy Jenkins up here. And our second person is Stephanie Bush. If Colbert Cash doesn't work, I don't know what does. You know? I need y'all to keep eating. 'Cause I ain't got nowhere to take up food.
I know, eat.
There's
It's cheap deal day.
I
I'm going over there in a
want
minute.
everybody to get a cupcake. Y'all deserve a cupcake. Please eat a cupcake. Okay, so we kind of changed our mind at the last minute. Some of y'all thought we were only awarding the top team. But instead, we have 8 teams that logged every single workout. 161 days. That being said, I want to first try to recognize everybody that's here that's of that 8. We got Lindsay and Aaron. Yvonne and Jackie. Yvonne, around the room, we got Dawn and Mr. Aubrey is representing. We got Rosie and Maria. And is there anybody else? Jody. Sorry. Jody Walls and Jason, her husband is. Okay. Noreen. Not here today. Sorry. So with that being said, on top, we got fourth place, which we originally were not gonna do, goes to Sister. There's yours. And there's yours.
And it's cash.
Cash. Hard cash. I'm gonna go take it. Sorry.
See, I can talk, y'all know, when you get married, you have to do what the wife says, so I can talk again. Man, look, I'm sorry, this was so much fun for me. I just don't know how that, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I got to see Mr. Chuck, and I see him every day, but when Miss Juanita started coming, Mr. Chuck attitude changed. She had some of the best posts. Did y'all see all the pictures of Noreen posted? That was good. Cindy and Miss Brenda with some of them funny poses. Oh, all right, I'm gonna stop now because she's giving me that look.
I'm not giving you any look. I'm not giving you any look. Third place team. Now, we put every cent that y'all put into this, every last dollar, we invested back into this competition. We had no intentions to make anything on our own. Making y'all better people is what we wanted to do. So, some of y'all jumped in this with both feet and y'all never worked out a day in your life. And you made huge accomplishments. So be proud of yourself and keep going. Jason and Jody, you're our third place team. You guys come with $400 cash. Technically, she's supposed to split this with the other half, but he's not here, so I don't know what happened.
She went to Jerry.
Okay, second place team. Who do you think it is? We need the husband-wife combo of Mr. Jim and Miss April. $600 cash.
Now that's good stuff.